This is Inspirational Talk with Toneal.
Inspirational talk. Everyday people. Inspirational talk. Intentional choices. Inspirational talk. Extraordinary outcomes. It's Inspirational Talk with Toneal. Now here's your host, International Award-winning author and filmmaker, Toneal M. Jackson.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be when you all are tuning in to this episode. I am your host, International Award-winning author, filmmaker, and empowerment specialist, Toneal M. Jackson. And if you guys can tell, this is going to be a special show because my backdrop is different. Normally when I'm on, we have that inspirational talk with Toneal backdrop, but I am super duper excited, guys, because this is show one of two. We are going to be talking about I Survived It All. This is my new project, new docuseries, and I am just so excited because I have with me, or I will have with me, y'all don't know it yet, but I have with me the cast of, or at least half of the cast of Inspirational, half of the cast of I Survived It All. And so in either case, I am just so happy. Many of them are already here. And so I am just glad to be bringing them on, y'all. I got a couple different things going on at the same time, but we're gonna make this do what it do. So we're gonna start introducing them one by one. And so as I see them in my back room, I'm going to bring them to the stage. So first up, we have Miss Justina Page. She hails from Texas. And so hello, Miss Justina, how are you?
I am good and doing better all the time. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now we just found out that you got a cousin, maybe not actually, but at least right around the corner, who's also from from Texas, Miss Sharon Lockhart. How you doing, Miss Sharon?
Hey there, I'm good. How are you?
I am well, and I think this might be her first time. She is new to the show. She is new to us, but not new to you, Miss Kyla. How are you, Miss Kyla?
I am good this evening. How are you?
I am well. And this one definitely needs no introduction. She is not new to Inspirational Talk. This is Aretha Miss Respect Tatum. How you doing, ma'am? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Woohoo!
I love it. I love it. And anybody that knows me pretty much knows her. This is my sister. You're a little dark. I need you to come to the light a little bit, Nicole.
Step into
Welcome
the
to
light, Carolyn.
Yes, step into the light, step into the light. And then we are bringing on last but not least, Miss Regina. Hello, Regina. How
Hello,
are you?
hello. It's nice to join you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we actually have another couple ladies that's supposed to be joining us. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start with Miss Justina, and I'm going to have you all please take like a quick minute to introduce yourselves just in case someone doesn't know you. This is everybody's question I want you to answer. If someone was to ask you who insert your name is, how would you respond? Let's start with you, Miss Justina.
I'm sorry. Repeat that question one more time.
If someone was to ask you to describe yourself, who is Justina? How would you
Ah,
respond?
Justina is a born again believer that loves God. She's God's yes girl, and that causes her to do mighty things in the Lord.
I love it. Come on, Miss Sharon, follow up. If someone asks who is Sharon, how would you answer it?
I am Sharon. I am also known as Coach Lee. So Sharon, aka Coach Lee, CEO and founder of um, Lord, my mind went blank. What am I founder of? I am the founder of Lee's Coaching and Consulting. Life is Sweet Coaching and Consulting. I am a community chaplain. I'm a minister. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother. And I am a servant. I'm an author. I'm a teacher. That's who I am.
Come on, let's keep it going. Nicole, who are you?
Me?
Nicole, can you hear me? Nicole.
I'm sorry. Hi, everybody. So who Nicole is slightly scatterbrained. Clearly, I am an author, a podcaster, a mom, a boy mom specifically. And I'm somebody who's trying to figure out the giftings that God has given me while glorifying Him all at the same time and enjoying myself along the way.
That's awesome. Miss Respect, come on, keep it going.
Hey, hey, I am Aretha Miss Respect Tatum, minister, author, filmmaker, songwriter. Go for it, go to, go get whatever God leads me to do. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Joy is my superpower. Watch out because it's contagious.
I love it. I love it. And I'm
Love
ready
it.
for it. All right, Miss Kyla, who are you, ma'am?
I would say that I am God fearing, but I am also a wife, a mother, and right now I am someone who is just trying to figure out my path right now in the world today. So that is who I am in this moment.
I love it. I love it. All right, Miss Regina, last but certainly not least, who are you, ma'am?
Yes, hello. My name is Ray, and I am a survivor. I am a coach. I am the owner and founder of Free Your Fire, in which I've created a workbook called The Cope Life, which is created to assist and help people with learning how to deal with daily trauma and hardship in their life. And I am here to that is my calling. My calling is to use writing to assist people with the trauma and the hardships of daily life, stress and life management services.
All righty. And just before we go on, look who done just joined us, y'all. Look, we always gonna
Hey,
have somebody late
hey.
to the party, but late, but better late than never. Come on, ladies here.
Go
Talk to
ahead
me.
now.
Just in
Sorry,
case y'all
y'all.
didn't know, I have another show that's called Wife and Wisdom, and she is my co-host. She
Oh
wears
my
a whole
gosh.
lot of hats. But ma'am, look, right now you're gonna just be a guest. So if somebody was to say, who is Lady Lee? How would you answer that question?
Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, sorry I lost my car keys, and guess where they were? They were in the lettuce. In the lettuce. I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
That's life right there.
Oh my God, in the
Hmm.
lettuce, and I'm looking all called my husband. Oh Lord, it was just a mess. So everybody laughed and stuff like that. But I am Lady Leah, known as Go Ahead Now. I encourage a lot of people, and I always say Go Ahead Now. So everybody has branded me as Go Ahead Now. I'm a baker, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter. God has opened so many doors. I have 5 children, married for 32 years, and I'm a daredevil. So I love what I do, and just expecting God to do more.
I love it. So look, we're
Sorry.
gonna let you breathe. Breathe. It's all right. I love everybody that is on here. Everybody, hello, Miss Mary. So all of you please do me a favor. Everybody that's on the panel, y'all take a moment and share this out. Tag your folks. So put that in the comments. If you got some folks that you want to join, you all actually can encourage people through your settings. I think you can invite people to join it from your actual pages. So if you have not already taken the time to do that, to my esteemed panel, you ladies, please do that. For those of you who are tuning in, whether you are watching this from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube, then we ask that you please take the time to like and share. Like and share. If you have any questions for any of the ladies on the panel on tonight, feel free to ask those questions while they are here. Look, y'all, I am so super duper pumped right now. Y'all don't even know how excited I am. This project right here is just so near and dear to my heart. It is near and dear to my heart. This is something I've been working on for a minute. And I just want to say to all of you ladies, thank you for your yes. Some of you, we started the interview process sometime last year. Some of you, we did it this year. But regardless of when you got interviewed, all of you have some incredible stories. And so, for those who may not know, I Survived It All is a docuseries that's really highlighting a lot of the various hardships that women experience, and we are still pressing on, still incredible in our own rights, going day to day, whether we are wives, mothers, movie stars, singers, superstars, like we do it all, right? Regardless of the title, that's what we do, is we do it all. And so the 5 segments, we're talking about the death of a loved one, or domestic violence, or devastation, depression, and even discrimination. And so, what I'm going to do, I'm actually, today we premiered a clip, a trailer for the domestic violence segment. But what I'm going to premiere right now, before we jump into it, because I am blessed, these ladies, all of them make up holistically the project, because each of them is from one of the segments. So all of our segments are well represented tonight, and we're going to talk about it. But what they don't know, and what you guys don't know, is I'm going to be playing the extended trailer right now.
All right.
You can't be prepared for death and how it happened. I think that was the part that really traumatized me.
Oh, Jesus. Losing a parent is hard, but there's no greater pain than losing a child.
I really thought this was love.
He didn't seem to be abusive or mean or anything like that. Seemed to be a pretty good guy, so I trusted him. He went from being my knight in shining armor to a monster.
No one has any idea discrimination that went on there in Mississippi. It was dangerous. Like I said, it's a very dangerous time. And it made me feel some kind of way that why am I not equal to everybody else? Why can't I have the same rights as everybody else?
Deep inside of me, I knew that no one else was responsible for my happiness. It didn't matter if I was feeling unworthy at that particular time. I knew that the power within me had to come full force so I could get out of this mess.
There is a time in our lives where we feel hopeless and helpless. Nobody understands, nobody knows, but we go through it, and we go through it alone.
I was violently attacked. I was assaulted. I was tied to a bedpost. I was stripped of all of my dignity.
I was supposed to lay there for 6 hours and have the blood slowly pump back into my body. When I tell you that pain had me crying, I was like, I can't do 6 hours of this.
We're talking complete darkness. The heat is so intense and high that the skin is just falling off of me, literally.
I want somebody to know and to understand you are a survivor. You can survive anything.
And with that, I present to you again half the cast of I Survived It All. So we are actually going to start with Miss Nicole and Leah. You ladies are in the first segment that will be premiering on March 1st. And so it's a Friday night. We are taking over Women's History Month. We are taking over and representing the awesomeness of women. And so every week we are going to be debuting a different segment. We start off with the death of a loved one. And so, Nicole, you talked about what? Fill us in.
My segment covered the loss of my second born son, Nicholas. Nicholas was born with Down syndrome at approximately 36 weeks. and he died when he was 17 months old. He was 6 days away from turning 18 months old. He
And then we're
had
gonna
open
stop
heart
you there.
surgery when he was.
I'll stop you there because we don't want to give them everything. We want them
Oh,
to see,
oh, you're
we
right.
want them to look at the documentary. So
Thank
we
you.
just don't just generically. She talked about
Got
it was the death of her son. And Leah, what did you talk about?
The death of my mom.
Absolutely. So in this process, what and I'll start with you, Leah, then I'll go back to Nicole. What was it that did you find this process talking about the loss to help you at all with the healing, or do you feel like what did you go through with this process of discussing and bringing it to light what you've gone through?
For me, and I'm not a talker. That may be a little biased, but I mean, when I get in my zone, I can talk. But when it comes to things like this, I think the talking didn't work for me. I mean, I can talk and talk about it and talk about it, but what I had to realize is that I had to come to myself and realize that I had to disconnect somewhere in this process of my mom's death, that something bigger is in what I experienced, if that makes sense. Because the season that I went through was unbearable. I mean, I struggled, it was unthinkable, and it was just a season in my life that why should I be going through this? What did you start thinking like, what did I do? Or why is this happening? Because this is who she is. So it was a why. And once I surrounded why with coming to myself, like we have to disconnect this why and go for my purpose. So that helped me.
With you, Nicole, with the process, this interviewing process, because again, for both of you, it's kind of been a while since your loss. What did you feel like? What did you experience in being able to share your story?
I was able to tap into some things that I had repressed in doing my interview. Uh, I realized that I had progressed through certain levels of grief because I didn't know that there were different levels of grief, different stages of grief. I realized that I had progressed a little further than I knew. And I realized that I moved beyond simply being numb. And for me, that felt good to me because I was numb for quite a few years after he first died. So
Well,
it was just the interview helped me to see that I grew.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Y'all give me, yeah, I need y'all to go ahead and help give me a warm welcome to the last piece of this puzzle for tonight. She has made it. This is Miss Emma Johnson. She has finally made it on, y'all. She figured it out. So we want to
Yes.
you
Emma,
Hello.
so we are just kind of having
hey.
a chat with the cast of, this is half, y'all, half the cast of I Survived It All. And so the second segment is going to be on domestic violence. And so we are represented tonight by Miss Sharon Lockhart. So Sharon, when you had the opportunity to share your story, how did that make you feel?
It brought back a lot of emotions that, it's been such a long time. And you think those things are really gone and, you've moved on with life. But as you talk about them, and I had to really revisit a lot of those things, I found myself, a little wobbly, so to speak, emotionally. And I had to take a few minutes and, even recompose myself. Just, it was difficult at times. It was
Yeah.
difficult at times to even revisit it.
Yeah, I can get that. And when I tell you, ladies, going over your stories, there were many of the stories that brought me to tears. And in some segments, I'm literally sitting there watching it, right? And then because for some of you all, it had been so long, when I went back, when we played it back and I'm sitting with the editor, it was like, oh my goodness, it was just so powerful. Our third segment is going to be on devastation, and both Justina and Aretha are featured in that segment. So with you, Miss Justina, what was your experience like when you had to go on camera to talk about your personal story?
Well, it was a sense of vindication and empowerment. I'm the type of woman that things can't go down without meaning something. I hate vanity. So just the opportunity, again, which I've shared my story many times, but that opportunity for to make a difference to help someone else, it was almost like you thought this was going to stop me, but na, here I am. And
Yeah.
not only that, just empowerment. I've been dabbed the hope angel, so I'm all about inspiring hope to the next person.
I love it. I love it. And oh my goodness, when they see your story. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Miss Aretha, what was your feeling like when you were sharing your story? How did it make you feel having to go back to your moment?
Um, it made me actually, I tell that story often. So I was excited to be able to share it again to remind people who are having medical issues how good God really is. Because when they say, you know, in my case, you're critical in a sudden, and you see that, it makes you think that, oh my goodness, but I'm here to say and was glad to remind people that you can't go by what doctors say. You know, it can be devastating when they tell you things, but God has the final say.
I love that. And you know what? And I will say, regardless of the segment, whether we're talking about death, domestic violence, devastation, depression, or discrimination, I think we could say that same thing. Like the things that we experience can be very just devastating, right? And it can be where other people would say, why are you still fighting? Or it could be critical. But at the end of the day, God has the final say so. And so we move to our next segment, which is on depression. And so, Miss Kyla, we want to kind of open the floor to you talking about that, because what was interesting to me was that each of these ladies who shared their story, it wasn't just about depression from, if you want to say, typical way, but with you, Kyla, what made you feel comfortable with sharing your story?
Um, I'm comfortable with sharing my story because while some of the stories are more like a final outcome, I would say my depression situation is more of an ongoing situation, and where it might have felt like a negative thing to start with, I'm trying to turn the negative into a positive.
Mhm.
So, whereas, sometimes, my story led, whereas it led into depression, I'm trying to show how my depression, I'm trying to turn that into a survival situation where it can be depressing at times, but I'm trying to turn the negative into a positive at the end of the day and help others um, know that it's not an end all be all situation.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, um, try not to tell it all right now,
Yeah. Yeah, no,
because
and you're good.
it's
You're
not out
good.
there
You're good.
yet. But
Because at the end of the day, that's really what we have to do, right? At the end of the day, bad things are going to happen because that's just
yeah.
life. But you have to figure out how to not allow it to overtake you. So, in our final segment, we have represented by both Miss Emma and Regina. And so, I'm actually going to start with Regina. When you share your story, yours is probably one of the most unique in that it's almost a culmination of a lot of different things, right? But it still fits under the discrimination umbrella. And so, how did it make you feel to share your story?
I really appreciated being able to talk about all the things that happened around it. A lot of things, it was a lot of things, and it did include some of the things that are definitely more prevalent in today's, like some aspects of academia, some aspects of family, and so being able to share and be able to kind of process and work through a lot of my own pain and my own struggles gave me the ability to kind of close the kind of find some closure and build a relationship with the person that I have loved myself to be to this point.
I love it. I love it. The self that I have come to be to this point. Miss Emma, last but certainly not least, your story was definitely I I'm gonna say it's one of my favorites, but I because you don't want to say favorite when you're talking about devastating stuff, right? But just when you guys see their story, so the discrimination segment is going to air on March 29th. How did it make you feel to share your story?
It felt very good and empowered me to want to do more. Um, at the age that I'm at now, I feel like I should become a politician now because there are so many things that I want to change. We have come through a lot of discrimination, but we're not there yet because
Mhm,
everywhere we go, there's discrimination. It's
mhm,
still here, and it has to be eradicated.
mhm. I love it.
And it,
I love it. I love it. So if you guys are just tuning in, shame on you. But no, for if you are just now tuning in, we are sitting with the cast of, or half the cast of the upcoming docuseries I Survived It All. And I want to thank all of you ladies for not just joining tonight, but being so compassionate in sharing your stories, because I feel like all of you kind of understood the vision that I had, which was empowering somebody else. Like whenever we go through something, it's not just for us. And once we understand that it's bigger than us, then I think that it will really be able to empower us to keep it going. Right. And so, like, I want to ask each of you to go around, which is okay, and answer this question. So if there was someone that you knew that's in your particular situation, okay, so you don't have to tell us what the situation is, so don't say what it is, but if someone was in your specific situation, what words of encouragement or what words of wisdom, what words of empowerment would you give to them? So I'm gonna start with you, Miss Justina. What words would you have for someone going through your same situation?
Well, God makes all things beautiful in his time, and time can be a friend if you let it.
Mhm.
And the important thing is not to ask God why, but to ask him what now, because why is not going to get you anywhere. Nothing's going to change. It's not going to change the situation, but what now will get you moving and give you some wisdom and action steps.
I love it. Miss Sharon, what are some words that you would have for someone else going through your same situation that you experienced?
For me, I think my main message would be forgiveness. Forgiveness is a choice, and you have to be willing to forgive um, whoever and whatever has happened. Life and chance happens to everybody, the good and the bad, the ugly, and you have to be willing to forgive, because it's that forgiveness or willingness to forgive that got me through. And
Mhm.
so I know that it will be the same for everybody else, especially those that are believers in the body of Christ. You have to be willing to forgive in order to move forward with your life.
Mhm. Absolutely. I love it. Miss Kyla, what words of wisdom would you have?
I would say that things nowadays are so much better than they used to be. So don't give up. Things can change, and life, your diagnosis is not an end all be all. You can still live a good life. You can still be healthy. You can still do all the things that you want to do and that you love to do. You can still go out and do the things that you dream to do, and nothing nothing that you did want to do is, you know, the world is yours, is basically what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
you can still go out for your goals and your dreams and all the things that you want to do and love to do. You can still do all those things. Don't let what one person says deter you from what you want to do.
I love it. I love it. Come on, Nicole. What words of wisdom or encouragement, empowerment would you have for someone that's going through your same situation?
I think that it is imperative to, number one, not let anyone intimidate you out of feeling your feelings. Take the time to fully feel whatever emotion is coming to you at the time. And secondly, and equally importantly, find someone who you can grieve with. Because in addition to feeling your feelings, you have to release them in order to be able to move on in a healthy manner.
Mhm. That's good. That's good. Miss Emma, what's some words of wisdom or empowerment that you would give to someone facing your same situation?
I would tell them that there's nothing too hard for God, first of all. Nothing. I would tell them, like the young lady said, forgiveness. I don't hate anyone. I hate anybody for the things that they did when I was growing up and how we were treated. And some people are still being treated that same way when it comes to discrimination. But I would say stand your ground. Don't let anybody deter you from what you believe is right for you.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. Miss Leah, what are words of wisdom or empowerment that you would give?
I would say if you can't move on, you can definitely move forward. Because there's a lot of things that I've experienced, and it's just sort of there, but I can still move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
hmm
good. That's
hmm
good. Come on, Miss Regina.
Hey. So I have always been so blessed by they tried to bury us, but they didn't realize we were seeds.
Mm.
And I will always tell anybody who was in the same situation that I have been in that if you see it as a seed, then allow it to grow into something fruitful and just move forward with fruit and prosperity because everything can be a blessing.
I lo- y'all are blessing me tonight. You hear me? I'm gonna let y'all. I'm gonna pass the mic and let y'all take some turns hosting. Miss Respect, what would be your words of wisdom and or empowerment?
In my particular situation, when the medical profession has their job to do, but you take what they say as information, but God knows the truth and He has the final say so. And always keep in mind that nothing is too hard for God. So, expect Him to wow the doctors because I know that it can happen. And you have to believe it. You have to believe it is according to your faith. So, yes, always take it as information, but you don't always have to receive it because God can trump whatever they say.
I love
Amen.
it. I love it. And this is actually a person said, well, this is Michelle. She's going to be our guest when we do the second go round. She says one of her things is to say, I love time can be a friend if you let it. So time can be a friend if you let it. And we say that all the time that time heals all wounds, and we have to understand that it is, I forget who said it, that it's necessary to grieve, is necessary to forgive, is necessary to heal. Like all of those things that you ladies said, they work collectively. So it's like really regardless of the segment, whether we're talking about death or we're talking about depression or devastation or even with domestic violence, even though it's its own thing, but it's still, you can feel depression and devastation with it, discrimination. I think that it is important because it's going to hit you as a person. It's how am I allowing this thing to really help me? So, like, I'm going to ask you, Miss Justina, how did you allow? Because this answer, the question I'm asking, I actually know the answers for these for all of you. But how did you allow? What did you do, or how did you allow your devastation to work in your favor? How did you turn it around?
Well, I let God do his thing He said that he can make all things work together for good to those who love him and are called according to his purpose.
Mhm.
So God did his thing, and I just slid right in there with him and said yes.
I love it because don't you do have the Amos house, right?
Yeah, I have a nonprofit in his memory, the Amos House of Faith. I also am an actress now, and my story has been used in some movies as well. I also have 21 books out now, all started from my one book about my story. I have a podcast, and my list kind of goes on and on and on.
Mhm.
But the thing is, what I did, I took what I experienced and not let it bury me. I stood on top of it and began to build again.
And see, and that right there is what I believe that all of you ladies have in common, right? Like you did not allow your stories to be the end of you. It wasn't just something that happened to you. You took it and you turned it around. Kyla, even with you, with your situation, why don't you tell us? Because I know you say that you have a Facebook group that's geared to be an empowerment for others facing your situation. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I created a Facebook group last year. It's called Kyla's Healthy Habits Hub, and it just supplies information about um, basically about the disease that I'm dealing with. And I just try to, because I've been dealing with this all of my life, and I, have been dealing with some depression because of it. I decided to, like I said, turn this negative into a positive, and I want to help others and provide information if I can about it. And instead of sulking about it, I wanted to provide information about it and see also from other people what I can learn. Because I feel like not only can I help people, I can also learn more information about it myself. So
I love
um,
Mhm.
it.
Nice.
feel free
I love
to
it.
join if you want to.
Absolutely. And what you can do is put your information. This to all of you ladies that have, whether it's groups or businesses or whatever, put all of your stuff in the chat so that way, as people are tuning in, they can connect with you. We're definitely going to give a segment and show where you all will be able to say those things out
Sorry.
loud. You can start putting those links even now. But I love that, like, because here's the thing, all of you took that opportunity to become empowered, right? To take what it is that you do, whether it was turning into a song, a book, a movie, a career, a stage, and that's what you all did. Regina, tell us a little bit about the work that you do now.
Yes, so I have right now out a workbook called The Cope Life. It is designed to provide support and to help kind of walk back some of the shock from trauma. Basically, it is a reflection guide to be able to reflect on good positive moments to provide kind of guidance for self when experiencing overwhelming and devastating issues. I am working right now to put it on Ingram Spark and Amazon for purchase. Because unfortunately there's a lot of things that are happening right now. So the goal is to be able to provide that mindfulness and that ability to kind of key into those skills for self-awareness and for self-care.
I love it. And Nicole, you have a company that's called NK Squared. Tell us about like what that name meant, how you came about with it, and what it is that NK Squared is and does.
NK squared actually was created because of my son who passed away. So NK means stands for Nikki Knows and Nikki Knew. Nikki Knows is me, and Nikki Knew is my Nicholas who passed away. The original tagline for the business is Nikki knows and Nikki knew that your needs are special too. I have an errand service. And so if you need something done while you're home, like if you need your groceries picked up, or if you need someone to sit and wait for the cable person or something like that, I run your errands because being the mother of a special needs child taught me that there's so much that we as When
Uh-oh. That's gonna be so important for her when she comes back in. It's gonna be an excellent nugget. So we're gonna let her come back. But y'all remember that she's talking about NK squared once she gets back. Leah, you talked about the fact that since your mom was a singer, that kind of helped to inspire you. So tell everybody a little bit about what it is that you do.
Yes, so my mom was a music artist as well, a gospel music artist, and God had planted that gift also in me, and God has blessed me to be. I've just come back from Nashville singing at the Grand Ole Opry House, so I mean, God is really opening doors that I mean, it enlightens me to let is God is really letting me know that God my mom is really she's here and I'm just living on her legacy, and that's what I really had to learn is to disconnect from the death of her, and reconnect to living through her, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. And we have Nicole back. So she's going to finish telling us about NK squared. Go ahead.
before I get kicked out again, I'm so sorry, everybody. I have an air service because we all have things that we need to do, and they get priorities. And of the mundane things that need to be done around the house are typically the things we don't want to do, but they're also the things that really do need to be done. So I'm here to do those things. My slogan is, "It's your time. Let us give it back to you."
I love it. I love it. All right, Mama. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little biased when I say Mama Emma. She knows. She knows what I mean with that. So you tell us some of the different people that you have been able to encourage and empower just through your walk with what you've done to help end discrimination or deal with
You know,
discrimination, I should say.
okay. I even right here in the building where I live in a senior building, love it. I do everything I can to encourage people to not accept someone discriminating. I don't care how old you are. Don't let anyone just talk to you any kind of way, discriminate against you, and just do things to you that you feel you can't do anything about. You have the power to do that. And like Nicole said, and I also one of those people that help people in the building if somebody gets sick or they don't have a ride to the grocery store. I'm that person. I would let them know if you need anything, let me know. I'll take
Mm-hmm.
you to the grocery store. And I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
let anyone how can I say, the elderly get abused so much and they feel that they don't have a fight to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm one of those people, I'm not gonna let you abuse someone that I know I'm with to discriminate against them just because they're old. I'm not gonna let that happen because I'm an older person and I'm not going to let you do it to me. But God will show you the way. And when you encourage people like that, it will give them the incentive to start to fight for themselves. Because some of them think they're by
Absolutely.
themselves, they can't fight for themselves. They
Mhm.
can't fight for themselves. And I want to be that fighter to let them know you can do this.
And you know what? And that is so important. I'm gonna come back and talk about that in a minute, but I'm gonna let Sharon tell us some of the things that you have been able to do to whether it's directly dealing with being an advocate with domestic violence, but just in general, where you are now because of overcoming what you've had to deal with.
Well, honestly, Neil, you know the scene in Color Purple when she said that I had to fight all my life.
Yes.
That's really how I feel, you know, in one way or another. I feel like I've had to fight all my life. And so, no, I wasn't abused in that sense. You know, childhood was a good childhood, but I still have always felt like I've had to fight. And I had to fight harder than my other siblings for one reason or another, or people in my family. And as a result, I am the CEO of Life is Sweet Coaching and Consulting. I'm a certified life coach, mindset coach. I'm a minister of the gospel, which is, you know, the ultimate for me. And so, even with the name Life is Sweet, I have a model that I try to live by, and I have had this model for some time now. And it's simply life is short, live wisely, give freely, forgive willingly, and learn to love all. And I try to live by that. I learned early on to not hold a grudge, get angry sometimes, people do you wrong, but to not hold a grudge, because
Mhm.
it's just not a healthy thing. And I had health issues at a young age as a result of holding so much in. And so as a result, I just learned to let things go as
Mhm.
much as possible, and that I couldn't give it to the Lord and let him just deal with me in releasing those things and releasing those people. And so life is sweet, and
Mhm.
that's the name of my company. And that is why it is that, because life really is sweet. It can be as sweet as you want it to be. It can be as sweet as you allow it to be. But my hope, of course, is in Christ Jesus. And so it's because of my relationship with God, then life does get better for me, regardless to where I am or what I've experienced. And so I've always had, I don't want to say a niche, but it's like I'm a magnet for people to come in. I used to be at the bus stop and people would walk up to me and just start telling me their problems, you know. And so
Mhm.
as a result, I just started to pay attention to the interactions I had with various people. And as a result, I've always found myself in a situation where I'm helping somebody, whether it's helping someone in an emotional crisis, or helping someone in relationships, or as a parent, as a mom, And so various situations in life, I've always found myself put in situations where I was the go-to person. And so here I am doing what I am called to do and loving every minute of it.
I
And
love that. I love
Yeah.
that because here's the thing that all of your stories have in common. And I don't mean the story that's on the screen, I mean your life right now, is the fact that you all are giving back in some type of a way, right? Because you have a lot of people who believe that, okay, if I'm not on the stage, if I don't have a million followers, if everybody isn't looking at me, then that means that what I'm doing isn't significant. But the fact that you all understand that, hey, literally everybody, every individual matters. So, like, to hear Emma talk about helping the elderly, which is so important because many times the elderly are overlooked. We have to understand that we have something that we can contribute. And I want to make sure that I remember, last, certainly not least, Miss Aretha Tatum, because she has a lot of stuff that she's doing that connects. I purposely came back to Emma's story so that I could then leeway or segue to Aretha. So tell us what it is that you do, or you find yourself at least right now doing, Miss Aretha.
Well, it does tie into the story that I tell in the documentary. Once you've been through when the enemy's trying to take you out, but God say no, He's keeping you for a purpose for such a time as this. And so I am a advocate for it's not too late, and you're never too old to live on purpose. And I use media arts and entertainment to actually bring that home. I'm the creator and writer and producer of a series called Seasoned, and it's about a group of midlife men and women who are determined to make the next 50 years their best 50 years. You've lived your life, it's time to live your dream. So I want to remind people that whatever you've been through, it's still not too late for God to use you. It's not too late to be encouraged and inspired. And I feel that
Uh-oh. Hold on. We gonna get it back in, y'all. I'm trying to every time. Hold on, we get them, but they coming back. They coming back. But we see that there is. Hold on, I think she's here. She's here. Hold on. Go ahead, finish your story. And I think Nicole is back too. All right, they're back, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, finish your sentence, ma'am.
I was just saying it's important to remind people that it's never too late to live on purpose. And I just use media
Absolutely.
arts and entertainment as a tool to inspire people and give people opportunities to do something that they've always dreamed of doing. And now they can have the chance to do it.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And so, to everybody who came on tonight, thank you all so much. To all of you who are tuning in, whether you're watching from Facebook, and let me see if I can get some quick shout outs on Facebook, to Marion, Dolores, to Ernest, to Michael, to Tracy, Precious, Nikki, Yolanda, Mama Joyce, to Rod and Michelle. Thank you all so much for tuning in. To those of you who are watching on Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn, thank you to everybody who has tuned in in. This we are so looking forward to this. You guys, if you have not already gotten your tickets, you can do so. The tickets, each of these segments are going to premiere on Friday night. So we are taking over March. This is Women's History Month, and we are going to, well, I should say March is Women's History Month, and every Friday in March, we are going to be celebrating the awesomeness of women with a different debut, a different premiere. And so on March 1st, we're kicking it off with the death of a loved one, which you're going to see Lady Leah and Nicole. And then on March 8th, we're going to talk about domestic violence, where you will see Miss Sharon Lockhart. And then on the 15th, we're talking about devastation. You will prayerfully see Miss Justina Page in person along with Miss Aretha Tatum. And then on the 22nd, we'll be talking about depression, which is going to feature Miss Kyla. And then we're going to close out with discrimination, which is going, you'll be able to see Miss Regina and Emma. And so on the 29th of this month, in 3 weeks, we will be back with the other half of the cast of I Survived It All. But again, you can see any of these ladies if you know them personally. You can go directly to and through them to get your tickets. They are only $25. Or if you want to see all 5 shows, it is only $100. So be sure to connect with them if you know them personally. I am also going to put the Cash App information. If you want to get them from me, you can do that as well. But you can buy the tickets from me, Cash App or Zelle. And if you know any of these ladies, please be sure that you see them directly. But guys, do you know that we are already basically at the end of this hour this quick? So what I'm going to do is I am going to yield the floor to everyone for one final time. If you would please go around and let everybody know if you have any announcements, upcoming events, as well as your contact information. How can they connect with you? So announcements, upcoming events, and how they can connect with you. And I yield the floor at this time. We'll start with Lady Leah.
All right, no announcements, but you can connect me at my email, which is leahoduro at yahoo.com. Instagram is go hit now, and that's how you can contact me.
I love it. I love it. All right, Miss Aretha, what you got coming up?
I have, we're taking it to the stage. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, Seasoned Showcase, celebrate the 70s. It's all about the 70s, which seasoned people, that's a decade that they love. So that is coming up in April. You can always go to the Seasoned the Series Facebook page for updates and to connect with me, seasonedtheseries@gmail.com.
I love it. All right, Nicole, what you have going on? Any announcements, upcoming events, or how can they connect with you?
This is an upcoming event that I'm part of this docuseries. It's an upcoming event.
I love it.
You can connect with me on Instagram. My pages are personal at this time, so you can go to One Unorthodox One. That's my Instagram. You can still reach out to me that way. And then on Facebook, I'm Nicole Harris because on Facebook I'm Nicole Harris. That's all I have.
I love it. I love it. And so as these ladies are talking, they are also going to be putting their contact info in the comment section. So that way you ladies, everybody, whoever is watching can connect with them. Miss Regina, any announcements, upcoming events, and contact information?
Yes. So yes. My premiere is going to be on March 29th. But please enjoy these premieres. I actually have a book. I'm an author. I have a collection of poetry, Commit to Healing, which is available now on Amazon. And you can find me at on LinkedIn, Regina Stone Grover. You can also find me on Instagram as Free Fire. That's FREEPHIRE.
Okay.
And I hope to see and connect with many of you. Thank you.
I love it. All right, Miss Justina.
All right. I will limit what I have going on. I'll start with February 24th. I have my Amos House of Faith fundraising gala here in Spring, Texas. You're welcome to come out and see what we're about and what we're doing. I also released my 25th book just January. Building Hope with Purple Thoughts is my journal that morphed from my
Fabulous.
podcast. Um, I have actually a TV series and a TV series, a documentary, and a Christmas movie that I'm in that will all be coming out this year. So I'm excited about that. You can connect with me, email Justina at justinarpage.com. You can find me all over social media. I have both on Facebook, a actress page and a regular page. You could connect to either one. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, I'm there.
I love it. I love it. Come on, Miss Sharon, keep it going.
Well, my website information is already in the comments section. On Facebook, I am Sharon Lockhart. I also have a women's group on Facebook. It's CCW, Circle of Christian Women. Let me see, what do I have coming up? I don't have anything. You know what? No, if you are in the Houston, Texas area, we will be in revival. Let me put a plug in there. We will be in revival on February the 16th and 17th at Cathedral of Truth, 6830 North Eldridge Parkway, Suite 303. That's in Houston, Texas, 77041 at 7:30 p.m. Excited about what the Lord is doing there.
I love it. I love it, Miss Kyla. Y'all keep it going. Y'all got me excited. Come on, Miss Kyla.
Well, the next event you will see me at is at the docuseries event on March 22nd, wherever the location is to be determined.
I have one 3953 South King Drive in Chicago.
Okay. 3953 South King Drive. And I just posted my Facebook, not Facebook, my email address on Facebook, and my Instagram handle is there as well. So that's where you can find me.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Miss Emma, what you got going on, ma'am?
Well, on the 29th in this documentary, I will be there, and you can reach me at EmmaJ1928 at hotmail.com.
I love it. I love it. Can I just say, you ladies have blessed me. You've blessed me tonight, just as you did in your respective interviews. My hope, my prayer is that I have done you all proud. I cannot wait for you all to see not just the trailers, because every week in this, I'm talking to them like y'all ain't watching, but y'all just in on this conversation. So every week you ladies will have a different trailer released. This today we released the one for domestic violence. And for those of you, whether you are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, I think even TikTok is out. So you guys can see the video, see this trailer, and you'll be able to hear the voiceover that features Miss Sharon Lockhart. And so it was just very important to me that we come together in this endeavor to help to encourage and empower women, especially during the month of March, because so many women need it. Like I was fortunate to connect with all of you ladies who have been able to not just survive, but I believe it was Miss Leah who broke down saying, hey, it's not just surviving, but you've conquered this thing, right? Mm-hmm. And even with Miss Kyla saying, hey, you know what, I'm still pushing through it. That's a step ahead of many, because you ladies serve as light. And so I appreciate you. I thank you for your light. I thank you for your transparency. And I thank you for your life. The fact that you did not give up and that you continue to keep going in the face of adversity. So thank you. I love you all so much. What we did tonight, this won't be what we'll be doing on your respective nights. So I want to give people a different way of seeing you. But when I tell y'all, it's going to be bananas. And if anybody has dealt with me on any level, you know what I mean by that. If you've been to a gala, if you've been to any event that I've thrown, get ready to have a good time. So thank you, ladies, so much. I am going to take you guys off of the screen as I bring the show to a close. But good night to all of you ladies. Thank you all so much. I really love and appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, to all of you who are watching, again, I want to thank everybody. This was a special segment of Inspirational Talk with Toneal. We know that we normally go live at 5, but tonight I wanted to be able to get all of the ladies on screen, at least the first half of the cast. You guys will be able to see what the last half, the second half of the cast has to say on Friday. That's not Friday. On Thursday, February 29th. So in 3 weeks, I will be back with the other half of the I Survived It All cast. And again, do not forget to get your tickets. You can get them either from the castmates or you can get them from me. It's $25 per segment. Or if you want to go to all 5 segments, that is only $100. And it's going to be premiering every Friday in March from 7 to 9 p.m. at a different location in the city of Chicago. And so I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. To all of my esteemed panelists, I want to thank them so much. And I'm going to close the show giving you guys the extended trailer so you can get a special look at my upcoming project called I Survived It All.
Can't be prepared for death and how it happened. I think that was the part that really traumatized me.
Oh, Jesus. Losing a parent is hard, but there's no greater pain than losing a child.
I really thought this was love.
He didn't seem to be abusive or mean or anything like that. Seemed to be a pretty good guy, so I trusted him. He went from being my knight in shining armor to a monster.
No one has any idea discrimination that went on there in Mississippi. It was dangerous. Like I said, it's a very dangerous time. And it made me feel some kind of way that why am I not equal to everybody else? Why can't I have the same rights as everybody else?
Deep inside of me, I knew that no one else was responsible for my happiness. It didn't matter if I was feeling unworthy at that particular time. I knew that the power within me had to come full force so I could get out of this mess.
There is a time in our lives where we feel hopeless and helpless. Nobody understands, nobody knows, but we go through it and we go through it alone.
I was violently attacked. I was assaulted. I was tied to a bedpost. I was stripped of all of my dignity.
I was supposed to lay there for 6 hours and have the blood slowly pump back into my body. When I tell you that pain had me crying, I was like, I can't do 6 hours of this.
We're talking complete darkness. The heat is so intense and high that the skin is just falling off of me, literally.
I want somebody to know and to understand you are a survivor. You can survive anything.